Oh, that's hot. That's a hot. Hello. Who's there? What's going on? I seem a little shiny. Great makeup tip. Hey guys, just take away the shine. There's no other way to do this than when the camera's on. Let's adjust this. Let's adjust this a hair. Look at that. Welcome, citizens of Gotham. Boo. What? Live streaming. Hello. Let me bring up the live control room. Socks and blessings, you guys. Hey, guys. All right. No, I'm not sweaty, Marcia. I get a little shiny. Hello, K-Line Report, Catalytic Sedatar, Bluebell 51, Socks and Blessings, Video Archives, Kimberly Schwank, Shelby Hall, yes, we're at war again. Catalytic Senator, Guten Abend. Oh. Willkommen. Not that we ever weren't. Yeah, we're just always at war. Boom. Hello. Everybody see and hear me all right? Can you see the blue light on the dark night shining over the light of truth? There's my new surfboard. I was surfing earlier today with Putin, talking about how we hijack elections and America has never done that to anyone else. K-Line Report, Graham's not sweating. That's the progressive glow. Yes, this is my progressive glow. I always get, I don't know. I went surfing today and I put on lotion after I shower and it just gets a little, it gets a little shiny. I don't know what it is. And then my camera, when I use, so I'm streaming through the YouTube app on my iPhone and it makes the lens look different. I don't know. Bluebell 51, get me the surfing with Putin stuff as soon as you can because I need to make t-shirts. Ron and I go on the road May 9th and it's going to take me a week or so to get the shirts turned around. So Bluebell 51, email me graham@grahamelwood.com when you got something. Kimberly Schwanky, every time you go surfing makes me sing the Weezer song, Forever Afterwards. Going surfing, nice. Shelby Hall, you need a mattifying primer followed by powder. Thank you so much. We're getting into some great makeup tips, guys. Makeup blessings, you guys. Thoughts and makeups. Chris Foster, evening mate to you, my friend. Bluebell 51, you're making buttons. That's right, you're making buttons. But if you have a cool logo, send it to me, Bluebell, and if it works, I'll put it on a shirt. The address that you want to send them to, it's on my website, grahamelwood.com, but I'll post it for you now. 50. No? All right. That's my P.O. box. That's also for some of you who are like, I don't want to give money digitally online. That's a place, the P.O. box is a great way to support the show. You can just send in a check, and I've gotten some really cool like handwritten letters from people, and some people do money orders and they don't want to be traced or whatever. Totally get it. So it's good. It's a good way to support the show. Oh, John Belushi. Aloha, John Belushi. I hope you don't OD on heroin. You're sending brain currency. That's cool. Please send me brain currency, John Belushi. Oh, how are you guys doing today? Well, before you start asking me some questions, let's look at the front page of the Los Angeles Times. This is on their physical paper that they deliver and also what was on their website. Punishing strikes. Front page, the destruction of Syria. Trump declares mission accomplished after allies attack Syria. Punishing strikes. It's funny, this could have said, why are we at war? These were alleged gas attacks. This is costing too much money. The American war machine needs to stop. These are all things that could have been on the front page of the Los Angeles Times, which is supposedly some liberal rag, right? Unbelievable. And then what else is on here? Mayor's not yet bid for 2020. That's Mayor Garcetti, who's rumored to be running for president in 2020. He's a Democratic candidate. The Syria thing, I'm not surprised. It just bothers me really a lot. You know, Video Archives right after 17 years of war in Afghanistan and 15 years of war in Iraq, the Middle East needs a political strategy to bring peace, not more American military intervention. Yeah, I know. It's, I just, you know, it's insane. C. Blaine, I'm confused why France was involved with this. Yeah, exactly. I think what makes sense to me, why France, and I mean, we know why the UK is, you know, pretty steeped in the war machine. They have their own war machine, and that's why they go after, that's why they smear Jeremy Corbyn. I guess it makes sense for France because this is about that pipeline, the dueling pipeline. So Russia and Syria and Iran have a pipeline. They're trying to get their pipeline to Russia so they can sell oil to Western Europe. We want to get the Saudi oil to Western Europe. So it's probably we went to France and said, look, if you let us take over Syria, then we'll put our pipeline and you'll benefit from the Saudi American pipeline. So it's all about the petrodollar. It's, you know, and yeah, it's Titty Master writes, France was consulted due to their experience in Libya from 2011. Yeah. It's unbelievable how this is. Blue Eyes from Behead, follow the money, follow the pipelines. Absolutely. It's all about the petrodollar. You know, Libya, oh, we had to get Gaddafi out of there. He's so awful. Now there is open slave markets. ISIS is selling slaves because we destabilized that country and that region. It's so brutal now. We got Gaddafi, who, again, didn't want to use the petrodollar. Anyone who goes against the petrodollar gets taken out, and now we make it worse. Shelby Hall, all these assholes who've never served have no problem waging war. Yeah, it's you know, yeah. Bluebell 51, every time you see missiles being launched, those are textbooks, teachers, clean water, and healthcare being blown up overseas. Absolutely. Harold Hedge, UK is the 51st state. Yep. And who comes forward? Tony Blair comes. Oh, Tony Blair, who helped sell the bullshit, fake lie war in Iraq. And what is so disconcerting is that the only real voice of dissension that I've heard is Tucker Carlson, who has spewed so much right-wing Fox News bullshit over the years, but he was the one, and I posted his 7-minute segment. He was dead on. I mean, it was insane to watch Tucker Carlson be dead on. He quoted all of Trump from 11, 12, 13, criticizing Obama and why are we attacking Syria, and this is a waste. He showed how preposterous it is. He said, even if Assad has done all this stuff, why are we sending rockets? It was really crazy. You know, is really crazy. And I did two videos. I did a Patreon video yesterday and a regular video yesterday about the Syrian thing. And I think in the Patreon video, I was reading the mainstream media's view of it. Yeah, Shelby Hall, fucking Tommy Lahren was right on Syria. That awful, she's just the most worst privileged white girl, right-winger, was right on Syria. What does it tell you? The media is done. I mean, it's just, I can't, it's unbelievable. But the thing, even in the mainstream media, they're calling it alleged gassing. They don't even have concrete proof. They don't have concrete proof in any of this. It's just unbelievable. They say it here. Alleged gassing of his people. Alleged gassing? We get to send rockets? How? Like, it's mystifying to me. I mean, and I posted this on Twitter, do Russia and Syria get to bomb the United States because of the tear gas that we used against water protectors at Standing Rock? The tear gas that our militarized police use is a chemical weapon. Chelsea Manning posted, are they gonna attack these, and I forget the cities, but like cities in America where this chemical company has a plant? Because that's what we surgically strike, these chemical plants. And some general is on TV telling us, oh yeah, it won't. You blew up a chemical plant. You worried about where those fumes go? Of course not. And just accept that term acceptable loss. It only killed 3 people. I'm very proud of us, our military strikes. It's 3 people who are dead that didn't need to be for our war machine. It's just, I can't even, it's unbelievable. Punishing strike, the LA Times writes. And it's crazy. One of the videos I did, we sent 105 rockets between us, France, and the UK. 105. At what cost per rocket? How much money did that airstrike cost? America is allowing contaminated water in Flint, Michigan, giving people neurological damage. People are suffering neurological damage from contaminated water in Flint, Michigan. So let's send some airstrikes to the Flint to blow up Flint City Hall? Is that what we should do? It's preposterous to me. Yeah, K-Line report. Chemical attack on 60 kids must attack. Thousands die in Flint, Michigan from drinking water and we do nothing. James 98. Corbyn went up in the polls since the bombing. That's good. At least it's like people are finally starting to wake up. More people are going, wait a minute, this is bullshit. There was a Syria protest in LA yesterday. I didn't find out about it. I didn't hear because I saw it online this morning. But there was a bunch of Syrians protesting this war in Syria. No coverage. No coverage ever at all. No coverage. It's an illegal war. We didn't get congressional approval. We haven't gotten congressional approval on a war since World War II. That was the last time we went to Congress to get approval for a war. Think about that. Korea, Vietnam, Grenada, Bosnia, all of them. None of them congressional approval. None of them. Not a one. Not a one. Shelby Hall, and the girl lost part of her arm at Standing Rock because one of the flash grenades blew next to her. Yeah, girl lost part of her arm at Standing Rock. Do we bomb Tiger Swan's headquarters? Because do we bomb energy partners, energy transfer partners, or whatever, the oil company that put the pipeline there, that hired Tiger Swan? Maybe we should bomb Tiger Swan and the energy transfer partners. We gas our own people. No? Don't forget, guys, you can support the show hitting the $ icon. I will answer your questions because you guys got a lot to say today, which is awesome. Bluebell 51, since it was chlorine gas that was allegedly used, are we going to bomb pool supply stores next? The chemicals used to make it cost $8 at Walmart. Oh, wow. Probably should airstrike Walmart, right? They're part of an international terrorist network. They sell pool supply companies. Brandon Williams, do you think that a violent revolution could happen in the next few years because the American people are getting tired of both Republicans and Democrats screwing them over? Yes, I do. And it worries me. I don't want to see a violent revolution. I want to see peaceful resistance. I want to see strikes and walkouts and demonstrations. I really want to see that. I want to see that. I'm worried that it will get violent because they'll respond with violence and people will get so pissed off. What I really worry about is the next recession hitting, and when people are desperate and they got nothing to lose, then they're gonna then they'll get violent if they're because the cops the government will respond with military force. I mean, look what Obama, hope, change, rainbow flag, peace, love, Obama. Look how he responded to Occupy Wall Street. Look how he responded to the protests about, Black Lives Matter. Look at how he responded to that. Look at how he responded to Standing Rock. Now we've got this orange skin wingnut in the fucking White House. It does worry me, It does worry me. Jinxie, I have no currency. Sorry, Grandma. One day, perhaps. Don't worry, man. If you don't have money, if money's tight, I get it. There's a lot of ways to support the show. Make sure you're subscribed. Share the videos on your social media. That's a great free way to do it. Go listen to the podcast on iTunes. We're moving over to SoundCloud, so there's been a little transition. We're going from Libsyn to SoundCloud, but positive reviews, those are all free ways to support the show, so don't worry about it. Shelby Hall, thank you so much for supporting the show. Shelby, you're a great supporter of the show. You came to the FNX thing, which is great. I got to meet you in person, which is awesome. I'd like to meet all of you in person if I could. And you wrote, the world is a tinderbox and Trump lit the match. Yeah, I agree. That's what's going on. People, and you keep forcing people. I mean, when 80% of the population is near poverty, 80% of the population is near poverty, what happens when they actually are in it? When the jobs dry up, when the economy and the banks are getting blown out? I just did a video. The CEOs are getting record salaries. The CEOs. Record salaries. They just broke a record for average CEO salaries. And as somebody just posted here, desperate people who have nothing to lose are very dangerous. That's the last person you want to be into a conflict with, is someone that does not give a shit. They have nothing to lose. You took my job, you took my house, my family's living on the streets, fuck you. I'll pick up a weapon. That's what could happen. That's what's scary to me. And I want to see peaceful resistance. I want to see peaceful change. I've said this before, demonstrations on the weekends are fine. It's good, but you got to shut stuff down. You have to make it inconvenient for people. Like the teachers have been striking all over another state. Every time you hear there's a new state striking, they're striking. They're seeing what's happening. They saw what happened in West Virginia. They saw what happened in Oklahoma. They saw what's going down in Kentucky. And they're like, we're walking. This is bullshit. It keeps happening. It needs stuff like that. It needs walkouts. High school kids got to leave school. Shut schools down. What they're hoping for. You do a couple more weekend protests, and then we're almost coming up on summer break. You'll be out at the beach goofing off. You won't worry about it. Maybe there'll be a shooting, or won't be one over the summer, and you'll just protest on the weekends, and you'll forget about it, and you'll go get a job and join the workforce and won't have time. That's what they're hoping for. To quote Mark Blythe, and remember, the Hamptons are not a defensible position. It's true. Jinxie, and I live in a decent-sized city, yet no grocery stores, tons of liquor stores and churches. Yep. Shelby Hall, Arizona teachers got their raises. Red states are protesting. Red states are getting what they want. David Lazarus, thank you for supporting the show. Good show, and I say good show to you, my friend. I appreciate you guys watching from all over the world. It's great. Speaking of Arizona, Ron Placone and I are going there. May 9th in Tempe, May 10th in Lake Havasu, May 11th in Vegas, May 12th in San Diego. So that's another great way to support the show. If you come out to the live shows and we sell some tickets and the club owners are happy, it's a business, you know, stand-up comedy's a business. Then we'll do more of these tours. If we get good turnout in Arizona and Vegas and San Diego, we'll do more of these tours. If we don't sell a lot of tickets and we don't make money, then it's like hard to justify going elsewhere, because this tour we can just drive. If we got to go farther away, then we got to buy plane tickets and stuff like that, so the costs go up. So Kimberly Schwanke, were there any anti-war protests near you today? Kimberly, I believe there were some yesterday. If there were today, I've watched the local news and I haven't seen anything about it. I'm trying to find some stuff on social media, but maybe. Bluebell 51, I hope to be at the Tempe show. Right on. Shelby Hall's coming to Tempe. Vegas, we're doing a show. If you go to the Progressive Comedy Tour Facebook page, it shows you, I forget the venue in Vegas. It's like a progressive organization, and we're doing it there. It's not like in a casino or anything like that. I forget the name of it, but go to the Progressive Comedy Tour Facebook page, and you'll see all the places we're going. And you know, we're in Pennington's Pub in Lake Havasu. So yeah, Lee Camp's going on the road. Yes, the media is keeping a lid on any anti-war protests because they don't want this to become a groundswell. They see what happened with March for Our Lives, and they're like, oh, it keeps growing. The Women's March, they're like, okay, great. Just every Saturday, the third Saturday in January, fine. You know? But they don't want to see anti-war protests. They don't want to see people just do sit-ins and walkouts and shut stuff down, shut down their war machine. They don't want to see that happen. So the media will not cover it. They're going to barely cover it, or just a handful of people. And then meanwhile, oh, is your cat psychic? You know? Yeah. Exactly. The only coverage that I've seen about the LA anti-war protest, because there's a Syrian community here. LA's a very diverse city, and there's a lot of Syrians here. They protested. Nobody. No, nothing. Just, sorry. K-Line report, if there's an anti-war protest, Sinclair Empire will just call them foreign policy terrorists. Oh, yeah, well, these anti-Americans. Oh, because I guess supporting war makes you American. The mainstream media, all in favor of war. James 98, if war criminals had been persecuted for Iraq, Syria never would have happened. Yeah, that's just it. Nobody's held accountable. It's why we're going to have another recession, because Obama didn't prosecute any of the banking people. They gave him nice big speaking fee monies when he got out of the White House. So it's going to happen again. We're going to keep doing the regime change wars. We're going to keep having, excuse me. Oh, I'm allergic to corporate media bullshit. It's a bummer. Jinxie, I found a story about China asking other non-USA countries to help fight terrorists while constructing the trade route. Send me that article. Freya Mickelson. If you ask for a permit and allow the police to tell you how you can and cannot protest, the media may cover it. If you protest for real, they will black you out. Protest for real, absolutely. Canton Cage, did you hear about the protester who burned himself alive? No, I have not heard about that. That's, oh man. Buddhist monks did that to protest the war in Vietnam. I cannot condone that, doing that. But if someone wants to take their own life in protest, it's an honorable death as far as I'm concerned. I don't believe in the Judeo-Christian suicide as a crime. It's a sin. I don't believe that. I believe in the samurai code, which is find an honorable death. And all these war criminals and war profiteers in the banking industry and the oil companies, if those executives all took their own lives, in my opinion, they would do one. That would be the one honorable thing they did with their lives. That's just how I think. I have different views on death. Blue eyes from Behead. If a bailout happens again, we riot. That's going to happen again. Jack Squat. Americans won't march in the streets until their fast food restaurants are shut down and their Xbox and PlayStations are away. Yeah. I've always said Americans aren't going to get out of their chair until their cable gets shut down. You know, it's all that stuff. You take away that, oh, they can't Xbox, I can't this, I can't just sit on my phone and blah, 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 and go on Tinder, Snapchat, or whatever. As long as I can distract that, the racist Kiwi. Are you autistic? Okay, you're ramping up for a block, friend. Oh. International block. Jack Squat, what is the... Let me go back to where you guys are. Yeah, the trolls are out. Jinxie, are you in Susie Dawson's Discord? I don't quite know what that means. I'm not sure I'm familiar with Susie Dawson. Maybe the name's familiar, but I'm not sure what that means. Let me know what that means. James 98, unions are the key to protest. They're trying to reduce them in the UK. Yeah, well, they've done a great job over the last 4 or 5 decades of slowly eroding unions here in the States, and that's why we don't have a labor movement. That's why we don't have an anti-war movement. The labor movement in the 20s and 30s united so many people. It was diverse. It had all these ethnicities involved. It was unifying people. And they went, no, we got to keep everybody divided. We can't have everybody working together. And that's why we need a labor movement. And labor and anti-war need to be tied together. Because if you're against war and cutting the military budget in half, you're going to bring better jobs here in America, right? You're going to have more money to put people to work building wind turbines, solar panels, all that stuff that we talk about. So if you tie them together, everybody thinks these are all separate issues. They're not. They're not. Racism, the war machine, labor, these are all interconnected. They're all interconnected. Trust me when I say this. Jinxie, or if you're associated with Jimmy Dore, I can send to him and forward to you. He was a lawyer and was protesting fossil fuels. Wow, man. You can just email me too, info@grahamelwood.com. Jinxie, bailout won't happen again. I don't know. It might happen again. A. Myers, it's now illegal to protest pipelines in Iowa. Whew, Jesus, that's brutal. Oh, wow. There's a lot of idiots out tonight. Hide. And in a timeout. You get the double whammy. Shelby Hall, they keep us busy with nonsense like smaller cell phones and apps so we don't realize what's happening. Oh, yeah. Get more excited about the new iPhone, guys, and this new app and that new thing and buying that new and shopping on this and that and the other thing, because that's what they want. They don't want you paying attention. They don't want you here. Hold on. We got Sean Comets. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Missiles could be food and school programs. Absolutely. No one is asking that in the mainstream media. What is the cost of this and where could we spend this money? Fixing the water in Flint, Michigan? I don't know. Getting people jobs rather spending the money on private prisons? Any of those things, Sean Comets. Sean Comets, good artist. Check out his stuff. Thank you for supporting the show, Sean. You support the show often. Shelby Hall. We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by military-industrial complex. Eisenhower. Yeah, Eisenhower. Boy, he was some crazy hippie, huh? I'm going to read that again. Shelby Hall, thank you for supporting the show. This is the quote from Eisenhower. There's a great, if you watch the whole speech, I'm sure it's online, talking about the military-industrial complex, but this is what he warned against. Back in the 50s, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. When you're spending trillions of dollars on war, you need wars, you need enemies. And it's just crazy and out of control. And they're so arrogant because they got away with it. They got away with last year's airstrike in Syria. They got away with upping the troop count. They got away with the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. They got away with all of it. They've gotten away with all of it. And, you know, I just can't, it's such a bummer. And as somebody that's done a lot of shows for the military and knows a lot of vets, I don't want to see more vets going out and fighting for ridiculous regime change wars that only benefit the 1%. I mean, what, 22 suicides a day from vets isn't enough? We need to get that number up by sending more of our young men and women over there? It's just preposterous. So thank you, Shelby Hall, for supporting the show. We'll see you in Tempe next month. Plantastic Life. Dominic, thanks for supporting the show. Is it really illegal to protest pipelines in Iowa? How is that possible in America? Don't we have the constitutional right to protest anything? Oh boy. Constitution is just a bumper sticker now. Plantastic. You're supposed to get congressional approval for a war. Alleged, the media and the government, alleged gas attacks from Assad. Alleged. That word, they say it. It's like your home is an alleged meth lab. So we're sending SWAT in there, kicking the doors down, shooting people, locking people up. It's alleged. It's all we needed to go on. We don't need evidence. We don't need proof. We don't need a search warrant. I think that house is a meth lab. Up, knock the door down. Take them out. It's preposterous. And we have slowly been giving our rights away, mainly since 9/11. The Patriot Act, something Hillary Clinton supported, a bunch of other Democrats, in addition to Republicans, supported. Obama then took the surveillance and the expansion of the War Powers Act from Bush. Obama ran wild with that. Took us from 2 wars to 7. Now we're in 8, maybe 9 now. I lose track of all the wars we're in. So yeah. We should have a constitutional right to protest anything. This country was founded by protesters. The Boston Tea Party was a protest. They didn't have permits. They didn't get the permission to do that. They just did it because they didn't want to pay a 1-cent tax on tea. And they're revered historically as heroes. Thanks for supporting the show, you guys. Missing Piece. Thank you for supporting the show. Independent Swiss lab BZ toxin, US, UK produced. God. BZ toxin. Yeah. I know. Like I said, Chelsea Manning had the cities that we produce chemical weapons in America. She's like, did we get to bomb those? You remember Chelsea Manning, whistleblower, put in jail by Obama, was tortured in prison because she was transgender, was in jail for 7 years, got out last year. Where was the liberal outcry about Obama? Trump is awful. Yeah, Trump's awful. He's awful. But everyone just wants to pretend Obama didn't do anything bad. Phil Britton, die for oil, suckers. Jello Bafraya quote, yeah. Shelby Hall, who's alleging? Yeah, exactly. It's the government is saying it's an alleged, what Assad did was an alleged attack. We're alleging it. It's not even confirmed. So if we just allege something, then we get to send rockets. That's how it works now. It's ridiculous. David Lazarus, the Constitution is barely there now after Bush and Obama. Yep. Jinxie, I am trying to find someone to cover this story as no media is following it publicly and I myself cannot go public on it due to my own project. Well, email me, man. info@grahamelwood.com. Chris Foster, sore subject, Graham. We are still annoyed about all that tea being wasted. To all the Brits watching, I'm sorry. Too soon? Boston Tea Party too soon? My fault. My fault. I won't do that again. Too soon. Nice. S3TTZ. Thank you for supporting the show. The dollar value of each bomb dropped in Syria should be tallied so we can stick to those who say we can't afford free health or $15 minimum wage. That's a great point. Someone has to find this online because they listed in a CNN article that I talked about in my video, they listed each type of missile that was launched. So find each type of missile. There's got to be a cost of that online somewhere, and someone could probably put that together in about 20 minutes. Someone wants to do that, send it to me, please. And then we'll compare that to what people say are these, oh, if we can't afford, and yeah, name one, not just $15 an hour, S3TDs. S3TDs? Is that what you're trying to say? I don't know. Oh yeah. It's like when all those Democrats, along with those 5 Democrats, along with the Republicans, gave Trump an additional $80 billion. That's the amount of money Bernie said we would need to get single-payer health care. $80 billion. They gave that to... It's insane. It's insane what they're doing. And you're right. Total up that, we could afford $15 an hour. We could afford health care for all, college tuition, student debt forgiveness, just any of it. Any of it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So 3STTZ, thank you for supporting the show, and thank you for bringing that up so that someone out there can just total all this up, and we'll get 105 rockets, according to the Pentagon. 105. Surgical strikes. Only to chemical weapon stacks. Acceptable losses. Are you guys good? Are you okay with that? That your tax dollars just created some acceptable losses and blew up some chemical plants, and we don't know where the chemical plumes went, the smoke went, but is that acceptable for you? It's not for me, but I'm a godless hippie who surfs with Putin. You have France is like, oh, we're justified. I just want to read this real quick. Chuck Bach. And that's from Business Insider. They're mostly Tomahawk, but there were a bunch of other ones used. And that's not including transportation troops, etc. I just looked it up. Each missile call. Yeah, so $165 million for that strike, roughly. $165 million. Anybody think could have a good use for $165 million? Find the worst school district in any major city in America. LA, Detroit. Yeah, what about Detroit? We could fix Detroit. Let's put $165 million in Detroit. Schools, jobs, small business student loan, small business loans, college, like there's a bunch Low interest, small business loans to encourage people. If you open up a business in Detroit and you're a Detroit resident, right? You prove that you've been living there for over 10 years, right? You could do something like this. You've proved you've been living in Detroit for over 10 years. So you're a local. You're not some big corporation coming in to gentrify, push out black people and make it just, oh, it's all not safe for whites or whatever. Get locals, get people who grew up there, who live there. Here, low interest, small business loan. Now you got to create a good business. You got to hustle, but we're giving you the opportunity here to do it. Infuse all this money. All these businesses pop up. Put some money in some affordable housing for people. Infrastructure. Neighborhoods get better. Local businesses, fresh food, all this stuff. It's doable. Plantastic Life. Thank you for supporting the show. If Putin says he will answer the U.S. bombing of Syria by bombing Saudi Arabia for what it has done. Imagine if Putin says he will answer the U.S. bombing of Syria by bombing Saudi Arabia for what it has done to Yemen. Exactly. It's more hypocrisy. We're ruining people. We're destroying lives by supporting one of our allies is helping kill 130 children a day in Yemen. Weapons, we've sold them. We even support them in their airstrikes. Some of the airstrikes come from our planes and stuff. No one's... Imagine. It's a humanitarian crisis that we've helped create. A humanitarian crisis that we've helped create. Unreal. Unreal. No one gives a shit. Neoliberals are like, yeah, we got to get Putin out of there. He stole the election from our beloved Hillary. Hillary, who's a warmonger, likes war, has ordered so many people to get killed because of her attacks in Iraq and Libya. Like, she helped with that. Yeah. It is a great point, Plantastic Life. Imagine if Putin says he will answer the U.S. bombing of Syria by bombing Saudi Arabia for what it has done to Yemen. People would lose their shit if Putin did what America does. They would lose their shit in this country. But that's the thing. We keep provoking. It's like the power that be, the deep state folks, they want World War III, it looks like. I mean, that's the thing that's weird. I don't get it. They want it? It's insane. It's insane. Moose Gal, Graham, since this whole Syria rocket launch and deregulation of the Volcker rule by both the House and Senate, I want to stop following politics. I'm a very disappointed progressive. I don't blame you. This is a tough thing. I woke up Saturday morning and was like, I got home late because we shot the FNX show, and I don't get home from San Bernardino till about midnight or so. And then I sleep in, I wake up Saturday morning, and I just see all this, and I'm just like, oh. And I recorded 2 videos, and I don't know what to do. Other than this show and speak out about it and post online and get people to wake up, I don't know what else to do. It's really, there's no politicians, there's no people in the media, no mainstream anybody is like, what are we doing? It's all of us out here on the fringes. And they make us feel like lunatics. Oh, here's some wingnut comedian talking into his phone in his apartment. Who the hell is this guy? Crazy. K-Line report. But Graham, if we don't have missiles, what is Brian Williams going to whack off to? It's good. It's good. No. These missiles are good for Brian Williams' spank bank. It's really good. New video archives. New ABC poll of Trump approval. Whites, 55% approval, 44% disapprove. Blacks, 11% approve, 83% disapprove. Hispanics, 16% approve, 81% disapprove. Jilly Love 101. Russia claims they shot down 70. News says no one was hurt. Scrabble Eddie, it is the fringes that speak the truth. I know. Joseph Sakata, exactly. No evidence that Assad did the chemical attacks. No investigation. Nothing. Just allegedly. Whoa, rocket that motherfucker up. That's how we do it here. Shelby Hall. I was out canvassing in ritzy Scottsdale yesterday, which for those of you who don't know is a very wealthy suburb of Phoenix. We are not alone. Most people feel the way we do, whether they are Republican or Democrats. That's good to hear. I saw something in a video in, I think, London, and they just were interviewing people like, what do you think? And everyone was like, not for it, I'm not for it, I'm not for it. Phil Britton, France is part of the energy cabal. They have more nuclear power plants per person than most countries. They ship their radioactive waste to Nevada, Utah, and New Mexico to be buried. Oh, God. James 98, do you think the Democratic Party has a better chance to reform through Bernie, a bit like Corbyn, or through gradual reform from progressives representing the party within? James 98, that's a great question, and it's something we sort of talk about a lot, but it bears to continue to have the conversation continued because I don't know. I think it might be a little bit of both. I don't know that it needs to be one or the other. Because we're seeing it happen. We're seeing progressives winning in primaries, and progressives are starting to kind of seep up within the Democratic Party. That will help. And maybe that sort of groundswell will then make Bernie go, all right, now's the time. I'm running as a like I'm doing this. Maybe that's what it'll take, but it's hard to say because look at the pro-war media. The so-called liberal CNN and MSNBC are just like jerking each other off over this great new war in Syria. They're all ramped up for. It's insane. Harold Hedge, like Caitlin Johnstone said, U.S. is pushing Russia to test their reaction. Yeah. Yeah, Nikki Haley said media sources. Yeah, they just say media sources, allege. They just, all these words that are just like, huh? C. Blaine, they had to bomb before the investigators got there. Otherwise, the lies would start. Yeah, of course. Chris Foster, a poll showed that only 1 in 4 of the British public were in favor of attacking Syria. Shame the government never asked us. Exactly. David Lazarus, I listen to a wide range of news sources, and quite a few right-wing news sources are disappointed with Trump and are against the war. Even some Christian news think it's a mess. Wow, that's good. Wow. Right-wing Christians that are actually adhering to thou shalt not kill. That's a shocker. I thought they liked their guns and killing brown people. Harold Hedge, Nikki Haley says, trust the USA. Yeah. Bluebell 51, they never say social media sources, of course. James 98, yeah, corporate media have made proper liberals have to call themselves progressives. Yeah, I don't call myself liberal anymore. I'm a progressive because if I say liberal, I'm one of these like, well, we got to go get Putin because he stole it from Hillary. I don't want to be associated with those clowns. David Wint, as people wake up, the propaganda will get worse, that's what you're seeing. They are doubling down because they're seeing people wake up. They're seeing the March for Our Lives has got to terrify people. These teacher strikes have got to terrify the deep state folks. It's got to terrify them. So they're just like doubling down on the propaganda. Oh, we'll give them a real war. We'll show them who's in charge, what they're allowed to think. It's unbelievable. Moosegal, Code Pink protests in Bay Area over Syria bombing, the Mercury News. That's good to hear. Good. Balthazar 228, Neolibs, why did the chicken cross the road? Russia! That's funny. Good to have you here, Balthazar 228. James 98, the term liberal is too weak and flip-floppy, whereas progressives seem to have a goal for real change and resistance. Yeah, exactly. Liberals are all they're all the like, oh, lesser of two evils. Got to vote for the lesser. No purity tests. That's why people say, oh, the left is weak. Well, they mean liberals are weak. Progressives are not. Progressives are, we are ready to go, man. We are not backing down. We are not acquiescing. We are not like moving to the center for your bullshit purity tests like Kamala Harris asked for. Fuck that shit. Michael 2112, that's why they must kill net neutrality. Of course, they can't have this. If they could shut this down right now, they would. They've tried. Bluebell 51, my favorite hashtag game on Twitter, neoliberal movie. Neoliberal movie. Musca, Alex Jones is against the bombing in Syria. I just saw a video on it. Yeah, I know. Which is so like, and that's what liberals say. Oh, well, you're in league with Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson. Okay. I'm against war. I want to cut the military budget in half. And if the guy that thinks lizard people and the rich kid who used to wear a bullshit bow tie agree with that, great. It just shows you how awful war is that even lunatic right-wingers can be on board with that. That is nothing to, that doesn't undermine my view that I'm against war. You don't have any concrete evidence. It's bullshit. I'm sick of this. Phil Britton, Mueller and Colin Powell were trotted out holding up white powders and lied to get stupid people into Iraq and perpetuate the 18-year-old perpetual war in Afghanistan. Yep. Balthazar 228, if you want to see what the GOP is terrified of, just watch what they ban in their legislation, municipal internet and Medicare for all. Yep. Shelby Hall, yeah, broken clock was right twice a day. Yeah, Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson are right on one thing. Great. Great. You know? David Wint, desperately seeking superdelegates. Jilly Love 101, I've gone fully radical green. Don't blame you. Don't blame you at all. Duplicat, AJ is fracking concern. It's theater to patronize the GOP base until their story changes and is forgotten. Yeah. Scrabble Eddie, the neocons are losing control of the message. Yep. C. Blaine, one of the Eagles was arrested in Starbucks in Philly because he was waiting for a friend and didn't order anything. He was handcuffed and arrested. CEO apologized. Oh, yeah, I saw that. White people go to a Starbucks and just wait. They can wait there all day. Black guy does, he's arrested. I saw that video. A bunch of cops show up. This country, man. Phil Britton, war in Syria is dessert for Exxon and Gazprom. Exactly what Hillary wanted. Oh, yeah. If Hillary was in office right now, she'd be bombing the shit out of Syria. And the left would be on board with it. It's unbelievable. David Lazarus, being green and progressive are not mutually exclusive. Absolutely correct. Where are we at here? Shelby Hall, when you've lost Fox News as a Republican, you're fucked. Moose Gal, libertarians and progressives have a lot in common. I also hear Roger Stone and Tommy Lahren isn't in favor of this. So yeah, we talked about Tommy Lahren. I didn't realize Roger Stone. That's amazing. Plantastic life. The greatest lesson in life is to know that even fools are right sometimes. Winston Churchill. It's a good point. It's a good point. And if Tucker Carlson is the only guy against the war actively, like in the mainstream media, then it's something not to be like, oh, you agree with Tucker Carlson. It's like, how screwed up is our media that CNN and MSNBC are, no one is even questioning this. No one. They're just like, oh, we're going to war. This is what it is. Rocket attacked. punishing retaliatory strikes, I've heard in the corporate media. Retaliation to what? Alleged gas attacks? It's ridiculous. I love that you quoted Plantastic Life Winston Churchill. I have one of his books, a biography, which is great. I actually bought it in the Churchill Museum. If you're ever in London, go to the Churchill Museum. It's underneath, I believe it's 10 Downing Street. And they kept it sort of how it was when he was there. He would take a nap every day, 30-minute nap, no matter what, just to clear his head. He was really, really fascinating guy. Racist against Gandhi and India. Got to keep that in perspective. But, you know, he did some other very good things and was a racist. Thank you for supporting the show. Plantastic Life. Balthazar 228. I feel terrible for any student who participated in March for Our Lives and is old enough to vote this cycle, but is stuck in an area where they have no anti-gun choice. The Lipinski race. Yeah, what I hope that those kids do, since some crazy number, 70 or 80% of them identify as independents, I hope they vote third party. That's what I'm hoping to see. In places where, like, there's no real progressives running, and it's just the Republican lackey versus the Democrat lackey. I hope, like, some Greens and some Libertarian who just had no intention of winning, just, whoop, you won. I hope that happens. I hope those kids, just because they've grown up in this era, they grew up with this smartphone, just choice. They can get whatever they want whenever they want it. And maybe they'll just go, fuck that. Then I'm not voting for these. These are my two choices. I'm going to get something else. I hope that's what happens. That'd be pretty amazing. If a bunch of 18-year-olds elected Green or an independent or a libertarian or somebody like that, that'd be pretty amazing. I would love to see that. Balthazar 228. Thank you for supporting the show. MSNBC is a 24-hour day reality show. Yes, it is. You were friends with who's? Quincy. Where is this? Sorry, I got mixed up here. Now that there's a possibility that Russia might turn off the gas, the fracking companies have started reapplying oil for licenses, waiting for the fuel security argument to come out. Oh, yeah. They're threatening our fuel supplies. If Americans really start going anti-war, here's one thing tactic they might use. Drive up gas prices to $8, $9, $10 and say it's because of Russia and the war over there. We got to go bomb them to get our gas prices down. Americans would go, oh, all right, I'm not paying. It's $100 to fill my SUV. Fuck that. Look for it. Look for any tactic. If Americans really start waking up and getting up off their couches and putting down their Xboxes and getting involved, here's what you're going to see. Here's what you're going to see. Then something to change their attitude, either an attack on this soil, a terrorist attack, or gas lines, gas shortages, stuff like that, which could backfire on them. Everybody might just go, fuck that, getting rid of my gas car, which would be awesome if that happened. Moose Gal, Graham, how do we get all our politicians to use evidence-based info to make good decisions for our country's policies? At least California voters gave us Ro Khanna. We need more people like him in government. Well, here's what you do. You vote him out. That's you don't waver on the progressive purity tests. Vote them out. They start losing. Don't support anyone that takes corporate money. Don't waver. Don't go lesser of two evils. Don't just lean a little bit to the center and, because the Republican candidate's really awful. Nope. Vote them out. Get involved in the primaries. Get a progressive in there in the primary. If you don't get one, vote third party in the general. Get them out of there. That's what'll wake them up. You're seeing that. That's why more politicians are like, Jesus, I better actually... You know, when Tulsi Gabbard last year said, I'm not taking any more corporate money, she got attacked for that. Stuff like that. That's what it'll take. David Lazarus, I always take a reusable mug for coffee shops. So many other offer discounts for it as well. Saves a lot of waste. Yep. Reusable water bottle instead of buying bottled water. I did a video on there's a lot of plastic microfibers in bottled water. So if you give reusable water, you just fill it up. You can get some with filters in them. So if you're like, you can do that. Where are we at here? C. Blaine, no progressive / Greens running in my district. I'm kind of stuck. Maybe you should run. Just a thought. Contact the Green Party and say that. There's no Greens running in my district. Will you put one up and see what it takes? I don't know. Duplicate. Please specifically define corporate money. Progressive candidates need small business donations. Yes. Well, you just said it. Small business is different than big corporate money. I mean big corporate money from pharmaceutical companies, oil companies, the gun lobby, big banks, stuff like that, the military, private prisons. See what I'm saying? Look at that corporate money. Small businesses, I'm a small business owner. I've donated to political campaigns. That's how you define it. I hope that makes sense. Look, if they've gotten money from any of the big evil corporations, then you know, because then they don't care what you want or what the constituents want. They're only going to go with what those big paychecks want. Definitely human. I love you. Do you love me, Graham? Sure. Shelby Hall, corporate PAC money. James 98, there should be a cap on donations. Scrabble Eddie, who wants war? The big banks. Yeah, military industrial complex, Main Street media. Which part of the neocon corporate state lobby system? Big oil is on it too. Both are bought off parties. Duplicate. Yeah, international conglomerates, absolutely. Definitely human. You're my biggest fan. Thank you. Art Kozlinski, stopping by to remind everyone that the only way to fix this shit in our lifetime is if the United States General Strike, aka Revolution, join me. Yeah, that's a good point. David Lazarus, going green saves money as well. My energy bill for last year was about $50 total. Wow, that's awesome. And here's the thing I talk about that. This is why I talk about voting with your dollars. And if you put solar panels on your house or your condo, or you try to get your office to do it, if you just put one rain barrel underneath a drain on your place and use a little bit less, that adds up. You might think, oh, I'm just one person, but it adds up. They're noticing less and less people are using less and less of their crap. You leave your car at home one day a week, something like that. You carpool and just use a little bit less. You'll save money in your own personal life. And they're tracking that. All they care about is money. All they care about is money. So if you use less of their crap, it's better for your pocket, it's better for the environment, and you're sending a message to them, fuck you. When running independent. I don't know. That's a great question. It sounds like something that is determined upon each state's election policies. So I don't know that I can give like a definitive answer or comment on that unless you know like how each state is run. Because they keep it convoluted and each state has all these you know, complex rules. That's what they do. Shelby Hall, Phoenix summer monthly bill is over $500. It kills us. Yep. If you can go solar, I would recommend it. Art Kozlinski, join my Facebook group called United States General Strike. That's where we organize. Go to Art Kozlinski's Facebook page. Moosegal, if we allow only private citizens to donate to political campaigns, what's to stop the individual that runs mega corporations from still talking to politicians and getting more deregulation victories? Well, it's about the money. It's pretty like if I don't take money from big corporations, they can come talk to me and try to influence me, but they always influence with money. I donate to your campaign, then I expect something in return. If I'm writing $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 checks to your campaign, I absolutely expect something in return. Look what Bernie did. It was $27. So, sure, there's nothing preventing a corporation from trying to talk to a politician, but if they can't give them money, it's illegal to give them money, will they find ways to go around it? Will corrupt politicians find a way to take the money? Of course, of course, of course. But I think getting the corporate money out of politics you'll see a drastic improvement. It won't be perfect. There's always going to be corruption, but I think it's overall better than what we have now. You'll see a difference, in my opinion. It's a fair question. David Wint, thank you for supporting the show, my friend. Things will change fast once climate change has an impact on the United States and European Union food supply. I sorry to say that I agree with you. That's it's scaring me. It scares me to agree with that because it's right. And that's the thing people don't understand. I did that video last week about Shell Oil new back in the 80s, and scientists and experts within Shell Oil in the 80s were like, this is dangerous and this is going to be bad. And that's like what worries me is they're doubling down on the propaganda, they're doubling down on the war, they're doubling down on oil pipelines. So like the only way they're going to realize to pull out of this is like catastrophic shit. When there's riots for food shortages and stuff like that, that's what scares me. You know, I wish I had the money to move somewhere remotely, you know, Costa Rica or something, or Australia or whatever, and live out remotely on a beach and grow my own food. That's because it's really something I think about. And I don't know what it's going to take, you know. Floods in the congressional floor because of rising sea tides and DC is low. You know, DC sits on a swamp. I don't know what it's going to take. So, you're right. When people can't eat and the climate change is affecting that, it hasn't hit us in the first world. It's already been, like, climate change is already causing droughts and floods and food shortages in third world countries because they don't have the infrastructure. We haven't felt it here yet. You're right. When Europe and the US starts having that, then, oh boy, maybe we should do something about it. And hopefully then they'll make a change. Thanks for supporting the show, David. Let's see. Tajawasi T. Tajaswi R. Which books or people have influenced you the most when building your worldviews on multiple issues? Maybe top 3 books or leaders who have inspired you? Nixon, Bill Clinton, and Jeff Bezos. No. The Kardashians. That's a great question. Well, the the Churchill biography that I read, I think it was called Lying in Waiting. That really influenced me a lot because of where he was in history. You know, he was he was the only one saying, "Watch out for the Nazis," and you know how he handled that situation, and then also saying, "Wow, he was a really flawed dude." And later in life, the way he treated Gandhi was very racist. The next one is Chris Hedges. I read Death of the Liberal Class last year because when I started doing this channel, I got turned on to Hedges. I started watching Truth Dig, saw interviews with him. And when I read Death of the Liberal Class, that was really motivated so much of what I do on this channel. So I cannot recommend Hedges enough. I bought that book for my niece who was entering college, and she's doing, her major is like, I think public policy. And I was like, read this book. So, and a third book, well, anything from Noam Chomsky. I mean, I was reading American Power and the New Mandarins, which was all about the Vietnam War, but it so relates to what's going on to today. You know, 3 leaders that have inspired me. Well, Churchill. It's hard to, I always want to say FDR. He did a lot of great things, but he also did the Japanese internment camps, which was bullshit. So, yeah. I haven't been a lot of, I mean, yeah, Churchill, FDR, but Gandhi. I think Gandhi was a pretty good leader. The Dalai Lama, he was the spiritual leader of Tibet before he had to flee there. I've read a lot of the Dalai Lama's books. I think I resonate, of all the religions I've studied, I was raised Catholic, but I don't know, they're a little rapey over there. So I read, there's a really good book called, from Houston is the author's last name, Huston, The World's Religions, and it outlined all of the major religions. Islam, Judaism, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, and that book was very influential in terms of like my, I don't know what you want to call it, my spiritual education, and realizing I'm not a big fan of organized religion, but the golden rule exists in every major religion. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That exists in every major religion. And then having studied, you know, Asian martial arts and being turned on to that and Buddhism, and I saw the Dalai Lama speak like maybe 20 years ago, and that influenced me a lot. So any of the books from the Dalai Lama, I would say. But I'm being inspired now by like Abby Martin, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's running in New York, who's a progressive, who worked on Bernie's campaign. I'm being really, so I know I'm sort of gone off of the 3 list, but those are some significant things I would recommend that made a difference for me, that influenced my life. Who? Where are we at here? Leone Ha! Thank you. Thank you, Leone Ha, for supporting the show. I really much appreciate it. David Wint, thank you for supporting the show again. Check out the book Climate Wars by Gwynne Dyer on the expected geopolitics driven by climate change. Not great bedtime reading, though. Oh, A Climate Apocalypse isn't like a fun light read right before you go to bed? All right, I'll check that out. Climate Wars by Gwyn Dyer on the expected geopolitics driven by climate change. It's a good point to bring up, David Wint, and a good book to suggest, because the Pentagon, like when the right-wingers are like, you hippies and climate change isn't real, I go, well, the Pentagon thinks it's real. The Pentagon over 10 years ago has started to do research and studies on how climate change and weather patterns and weather becoming more severe is going to destabilize governments and how it will affect national security. If we have, let's say, 7 hurricanes again, like we just had last fall, and then there's flooding, we have severe weather in the north, crazy snowstorms, because that's what weather gets more severe. It doesn't get global warming, it gets more severe. We have droughts in parts of the country. How are we going to do that? If, the Gulf states are all underwater and then there's drought in the West. Remember when we had the crazy snowstorms and there was mass flooding after that in the North? What are we going to do? So it's a valuable question and to think about, and it's real, and we all got to get on board with this. If we don't address the climate, it won't matter about anything else. And all this money we're spending on wars, we could spend it on reversing climate change and making the planet greener and cleaner and more sustainable, which would provide a bunch of jobs and infuse money into the economy and give people money for healthcare and education and everything else. But thank you for suggesting that, David Wint. The book is called Climate Wars by Gwyn Dyer. I will check that out. Where are we at here? Randall McGrew. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for supporting the show. Find The 100-Year Life About the Contamination of Our Environment and Bodies, another great book, or anything by Eugene Debs. The 100-Year Life by Eugene Debs. Randall McGrew, thank you for supporting the show. I like your avatar, some sort of furry hat. This is a cool conversation we're having. Everybody suggesting all of these books. I like this. It's like our little online book club, our little progressive book club. Ooh, catchy title, marketing. So, I'm not familiar with Eugene Debs, but Randall McGrew, thank you for suggesting that. I've watched, because I'm a film guy, got comedy film nerds. The documentaries I would recommend are Food Inc., Forks Over Knives, there's one about the sugar lobby. I forget about that one. But they're all, I believe, on Netflix. So those are pretty informative documentaries. Forks Over Knives is really good. It talks about eating raw, a plant-based life. And if they're like, if 50% of your every meal is raw, meaning like fresh fruits and vegetables, not cooked, not steamed, raw almonds, stuff like that. It makes for a healthier life, but it's also why we desperately, need organic farming, is because we've so contaminated the soil here. It's ridiculous. It's why, like the gluten thing. Why did the gluten thing start? Because we've so bioengineered the wheat here. The wheat stalks are so strong. They have way more gluten. I know people who have the actual gluten allergy have gone to like Europe, eaten pasta and bread there, and they didn't have an adverse reaction. Because we've so over-modified our food supply here. It's like we're fucking with our food, we're fucking with our water. Like, what do these 1%ers think? They're immune to needing breathable air and drinkable water to live? Like, I mean, what's it going to take? Like some mass outbreak of some disease that was born out of like chemicalizing all of our goddamn food? I don't know. It's insane. But Randall McGrew, thank you so much for supporting the show. The 100-Year Life, which is about the contamination of our environment and bodies. Anything by Eugene Debs. The 100-Year Life by Eugene Debs. Thanks for bringing that up. This is awesome. Bluebell 51, can I just say fuck Monsanto? Yes, you can. Poisoning of wheat is courtesy of Monsanto. Monsanto was awful. Vincent Lloyd, do you see any other celebrities running a progressive campaign like Cynthia Nixon? No, I haven't, but I'm sure they're out there. Let's see. You guys are saying some interesting stuff. Oh, this is somewhere you're talking about not having a progressive challenger in your, and C. Blaine said to Balthazar 228, maybe contact Our Revolution or other progressive groups to get a challenger in there. That's a great idea. Yeah, go to Our Revolution. Go, like I said, go to the Green Party and see, like, we need a candidate in here. Who do you got? You know, Who Killed the Electric Car is good. Hacking Democracy is good. Randall McGrew, Mike. Icon is a comic character. Debs died in the early 1920s. He did not write The 100-Year Lie. Oh, I see what you're saying. The 100-Year Lie is a separate book, and Debs was you're saying the 100-Year... Oh! What? Who let the dogs out? That was crazy. That's never happened before. Is everybody okay? Is everybody all right? Is everybody all right? Hold on. Boy, we got to really get a different adjustment here. This thing's went nuts. Man, is everyone okay? Did anyone get hurt when my phone fell? It's probably just the NSA just going, blowing my phone over. All right, Random McGrew, thank you so much for clarifying that. Okay, so The 100-Year Lie is a separate book from Debs, or read books from Eugene Debs. Got it. Thank you for letting me clarify that, and thank you for supporting the show. It's a comic book character, 100-Year Lie, or anything by Eugene Debs. Okay, cool. I'm glad it's a comic character. I was just being silly. Moose Gal. What are you guys talking about? Where's this? Moose Gal. Graham, could we really have a progressive online book club? I really want to learn more about the history of America and our environmental justice movement. Well, yeah. Why not? Do it as an extension of the channel. I don't know how we would do that. Just do a separate super chat that's just talking books, maybe? Yeah, I'm down with that. Or just maybe a Facebook page and we just share books and talk about them. That'd be cool. But do we want to use Facebook? I know Facebook is the easiest format to use, but they're evil. Yeah, I'm open to that, man. However, let me know how you want to set that up. That'd be cool. Randall McGrew, yeah, I'm an artist and a writer. I've done my comic for over 10 years. Keeps me out of the street. Good for you, man. Love to see some of your work. Yeah, a lot of people don't have Facebook, and I don't blame you. Is there how could we do this? Have some sort of place that isn't Facebook where we could all share books. We could all post books we've read, progressive books. Where could we do that? That'd be interesting. Titty Master, The Art of the Deal is a tremendous book, believe me. Graham, how about we use Goodreads? I don't know what Goodreads is, but what is that? Is it like an online book thing? Yeah, I'm down with that. That's cool. Goodreads is the place for that, Graham says. I work in a library. I learned about that site years ago. Library? Ugh, that's socialism. Boo! Free books for everybody, making people be able to read. I hate that idea. No, that's fantastic. A separate channel. We could start a separate channel. Art Kozlinski, I got a good book, Don't Start the Revolution Without Me by Jesse Ventura. All right. Always Twitch, Discord, Steam It, different platforms to try. Slack. Oh, I've used Slack. That's like a good work thing. Yeah, Slack's not bad. Dark Money is a good book about how big money took over our politics. Oh, this is fucking interesting. You guys are talking some sweet stuff. Yeah, Pentagon announces 2,000% increase in Russia trolls since Friday. Oh, weird. No way. See, Russia, they're so mad. Yeah, because we bombed their allies and we're threatening war and we want to... Jesus. Randall McGrew, I loathe and abhor faceplant. Probably Facebook. Yeah, we won't use Facebook. Everyone's getting off of it. I just threw it out there as a potential easy thing, but we can do the book club. We can do the book club elsewhere. Randall McGrew, thank you for supporting. I'd like to see post some of your artwork. And I wonder where else we could do this. Yeah, we'll work on it. I like this progressive book club thing. I like it a lot. It'd be cool. Yeah. I tried to say I fucking loathe and abhor Facebook, but it wouldn't let me. Well, I'll say it. I fucking loathe and abhor Facebook. Good for you, Randall McGrew. Pancho Diego, the Prince, classics never go out of style, and the powers that be are still using its techniques. Yeah, that's for sure. Art Kozlinski, imagine what we could accomplish if we were best friends with Russia, minus the corrupt entities of both of our governments. Yeah. C. Blaine, be like comedy film nerds, only with books. Okay. I got to say right now, to be fully honest, I don't have a lot of time to like start another like channel or another thing. That's why I just think like a page somewhere that everyone can just post books, and then maybe I read them on this. I take a segment of this super chat and just read, oh, so-and-so suggested these books. I do that every week. Because I like, my time is tight. But maybe that's just a segment. We just find, maybe we use Slack, or we find a page somewhere where everyone can just post suggested books and then I read them or talk about, you know. That's an idea. That's an idea. All right. Hold on. Progressive. All right. All right, hold on. I'm going to do this. Let's see. ProgressiveBookClub.com. I think somebody just bought it. Okay. A. Mars just finished The Untold History of the U.S. on Netflix. That's a fantastic series. Watch that. Pancho Diego, just reserve the first comment on the YouTube comment section for book suggestions. All suggestions will be replies to the comment. Oh, that's a great idea. All right. I'll do that. Maybe I'll do a video on books to recommend. And then you guys can suggest from there. That's great. Julie Love 101. I'm actually Russian. Welcome, comrades. Our plan has worked. Oh, you Russians, you did it again. Moose Gal. Goodreads has its own site, which I use to keep track of books I read and want to read. I can also have friends join groups. Okay. Cool. I'll check that out. Julie Love, you Russian bot. I knew it. Well, guys, it's been about an hour and a half. I got to leave my house in about 15 minutes to drive to the sound mixer's house. I have to finish editing episode 7 for the FNX Comedy Experience. One more episode next Friday, the 20th. It's a 1 o'clock show. The tickets aren't available online, but if you contact me, either info@grandmelwood.com or through social media, if you want to come, I'll put your name on the list. You can come to the show. No problem. All right, because let's get Soviet Russia book review. Are you going to do Yakov Smirnoff jokes? Yeah, all right, Moose Gal. I'll look into Goodreads. And then maybe I'll do a video about Goodreads and put the link in the Goodreads thing, and then everyone can start going there. That'd be cool. You guys are great. Okay. I just want to thank all of the super chatters. Shelby Hall, thank you for supporting the show. David Lazarus, thank you for supporting. Sean Kometz. Shelby Hall again. Plantastic Life. Missing Piece. Sets, S-E-T-T-Z, thank you for supporting the show. Plantastic Life. Plantastic Life again. Balthazar228, thank you for supporting the show. David Went. Leone Ha, thank you for supporting the show. David Went. Randall McGrew again. David Lazarus. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you supporting the show. This was really cool. I love the book discussion, and I'll get that going. Oh, David Lazarus, thanks, man. You guys, thank you for being born. Oh, that's a really cool thing to say. You guys really, the book suggestions and asking me what I want to read and everything is really, really cool. I love the book thing. I'll try to get the Goodread thing set up. Thank you for that, Moose Gal, and yeah, the show is so cool. We have such great discussions, and I'm so glad that there's. I love Chi-Town too. Don't forget Progressive Comedy Tour with Ron Placone, May 9th, Tempe, Arizona, May 10th, Lake Havasu, May 11th, Vegas, May 12th, San Diego. Go to grahamelwood.com for all of that. Support the Patreon. Oh man, Marcia Smith, you had a house fire? We're so sorry, Marcia. I hope you're okay. I hope everyone's safe. I just saw that right now. He had a house fire last Sunday. Man, I hope you're safe. I hope your family's safe. And, we'll be here. Don't worry about it. So, man, thank you for coming by anyway. I really appreciate that. Baby Gerald, yes, I will keep up the great work. You guys are awesome for supporting the show, and I really, you guys inspire me, man. Your questions, your thoughtfulness, yeah, and your wanting to find solutions and your discussions about how to find the best solutions and everything, and how you support me in the show. It's good to know, because it's easy to feel like, just the last 2 days too with the Syria bombing, I'm just thinking like, oh my God, what are we doing? What am I doing? And to come here and have these discussions and talk about how we're going to protest and get involved, and it really makes me, this show always restores my faith. Michael Stiegel, so much. Marcia Smith, yeah, surge protector in the living room shorted and set the floor ceiling curtains on fire. I am glad I was there, or it could have been a total loss. Whew. Guys, I have fire extinguishers in every room. I have a little one bed. I have a fire extinguisher by my desk. I have a fire extinguisher in my kitchen, and I have one by my bed. And a smoke detectors. If you want disaster supplies, go to redcross.org and they'll give you disaster supplies. Fire extinguishers. I had an old toaster oven catch fire, and my fire extinguisher put it out like that. If I didn't have that or wasn't paying attention, it could have been awful. Could have done how much damage and injured how many people. So Marcia, I'm glad you're safe, and I'm glad you were there to put it out. And have fire extinguishers. I can't say that enough. Check them. Turn them upside, if they're the dry chemical ones, every couple of months, turn them upside down so the dry chemicals get packed on the bottom when they sit there for months on end. So if you just shake them around, get the ones that say if they're full or not, if they've lost their pressure, you want to know, and replace them. And it's the best money you could ever spend because it could literally save lives. So that's my little fire extinguisher speech. I have goggles by my bed and like just masks, like if you do heavy carpentry work, in case there's a fire in the middle of the night, I need to get out. If you sleep on a second story, have a ladder that can go out over your window so you can get out if there's a fire that prevents you from getting out your front door. So good. Marcia's got homeowners insurance. I have renter's insurance. Good to have that. So thank you guys. $165 million were spent on the rockets that we shot into Syria. Think about where that money could go. Yeah, I'm very prepared. I'm a disaster. I used to teach disaster preparedness for the American Red Cross, so I don't fuck around. I've got food and water and a fire extinguisher in my car because I live in earthquake country. So I'm good, man. So thank you guys so much for supporting the show. You're awesome. You make me feel great. You restore my faith in humanity every week. And it's good to know I'm not alone. And hopefully at some point I'll meet some amazing progressive, and we'll fall and have sweet progressive activist love. That sounded creepy. You know what I mean? It'd be nice to have a progressive girlfriend. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Or if you're in a part of the world that's already Monday, enjoy your week. We'll talk soon. And thank you for keeping me sane. And thank you for supporting the Political Vigilante. And thank you for making Gotham great.